Hello and welcome, I'm your Code Monkey. In this lecture we're going to learn about local functions and how they differ from lambdas. Okay, so in the previous lecture we covered delegates and lambdas. Lambdas are one way to make an anonymous function. So if we have some kind of action, my action, we do a lambda by writing the parentheses with the parameters. Then we do a little arrow and a code block just like this. This is a lambda expression. However, there is another method for making anonymous functions. It's called local functions. And they're exactly like the name implies. Just like you can have local variables, so in something, so this is a local variable. Just like this, you can also define a function within another function. And you define them pretty much exactly the same as another function. So for example, void print, let's receive a string message. And then we put a code block, and inside, let's go console and write line, and let's print out the message. And if that's it, here we have a valid local function. We have this function inside this main function. Now, naturally, we cannot call this from anywhere else. So if there's another one, so another private static void. So if we have another function here, from this one, if we try accessing print, nope, this does not exist. So this is a local function, which just like a local variable, is only accessible within this function. And we saw the delegates in the previous lecture, so we can use these exactly the same way. So action, my action 2, and I can assign it to print. And actually this one takes a message, so let's do action of type string. And yep, there you go, this is perfectly valid code. So here this, and here this. Just put a string here, just make it exactly the same. So a string message like this. And yep, both this and this are exactly the same thing. Now let's see the differences. And first is really just the syntax. You can see how the lambda over here, this one does not have a name by default. The only way to reference this lambda expression, the only way is by going through the actual delegate that stores it. Whereas the local function over here, this one has a proper name. You don't need to assign this to any kind of delegate field in order to be able to actually use it. Then another thing is how the local function can be defined anywhere. So for example, I can define the print in there, and up here I can call print. And yep, this is valid code. There's no errors. Again, only inside the actual function code block because it's a local function, but I can define it down here and use it up here. This is valid. Whereas with the lambda, you cannot do this. If I try accessing the my action, nope, obviously there's an error. I cannot use a local variable before it is declared. Whereas for the local function, that one works just fine. The difference for this is because local functions, these one are defined in compile time, whereas lambdas, these are defined at runtime. So because of that, the compiler knows that this function is coming, so it can use it, but this one can only be used after it is declared. Also importantly is how the delegate over here, the lambda, this anonymous expression, lambdas are actual objects that are declared and assigned at runtime. They are actual objects that exist in memory. So every time we run this my action, every time we do that, it is going to create a brand new object. Every time we run the main function, every time we do it, it is going to create a brand new instance of this object. It's going to create a brand new lambda. Whereas local functions, these are defined as compile time, so in memory they only exist once. So we could call the main function 100 times, and it would create 100 instances of this lambda, but only one instance of this print function. So in terms of memory, if you're memory limited, then local functions would be a better option than using lambdas. So in general, both local functions and lambdas serve a somewhat similar purpose. They allow you to define functions whilst inside another function. Local functions can be great for organizing logic within a function, assuming whatever you're doing in that function is only ever done within that other function. And lambdas are great for super quick things like assigning logic to a button click. For the most part, personally I really only use lambdas, but local functions also have their use case.